Good evening, guys. So, on to the next one. This is a special one. So I'm down in Cornwall at the minute. This is my auntie, so my granddad's sister. She lives down here, and as you can see, nothing's been done really. We replaced the toilet last year because there was a fault with the toilet, but nothing's been done in here for a long time. This was the bathroom that was put in when the house was built, so it's overdue a renovation. So I'm going to video it all from start to finish, so let's see how we get on. I'm going to start stripping stuff off this evening, so that we've got a bit of a head start tomorrow. It's Friday evening at the minute. We drove down today, so we're supposed to be here for a week, but hopefully we'll get it done. We shall see. We'll see how far we get. Should do. I'll be on it every day until we go home. So yeah, let's see how we get on, and I will probably see you tomorrow when I catch you up with what I've been up to this evening. So end of day 2 on the bathroom project, and we're completely stripped out. So obviously the old shower was there, so we're going to fill that hole in there. We've got this cable just here, that's going back up. We're going to take this out of here and put a switch in the airing cupboard and run the cable down the wall and to roughly where the shower's going to be there. Obviously we've got the tray in, so that's the first time that's gone in to work out where the waste needs to be, and then we've drawn on where the niche is going to be. But the issue we've got here with these walls is that the way that this is built, it's got like this waffly material in there. You'll be able to see that's the thickness there of the wall, and that's the back of the plasterboard for the bedroom wall. So we've not got much to work with, which is why we're putting in another stud. There'll be another wall up there just to give us the extra depth to have the niche, and also to give us some supports, because there's going to be a handle rail there and a couple of grab rails there. So once they're in, they'll need something solid to fix to. But we've got, that is the vent pipe now. So the vent pipe was going straight up there and out. You'll remember seeing a pipe running straight up there. So we've altered this, and that vent pipe's going up and into one of the little valves you can put up in the loft. And then we've got that pipe there, which is going to come to his toilet, which is going to sit here. So then the pipe will come out the back of the toilet, go straight down. So we've put in this stud for the wall. If I move back a bit. So we've got the new stud in for the wall. That's all going to be plasterboarded. Cut all the holes for the lights. So then when I overboard all of the ceiling, I can get in the loft and drill down through using those holes and get the cables through, wire it all in. What else have we done? We've sorted out some of the plumbing, so there's in here, there's a light. So in here we've got the hot and cold feed there that we've started sorting out. So this is the cold feed, this is going to an outside tap, and then they basically need to run across there to where that white cable is to go up into the cupboard and join onto the pipes just in that hole there. So productive 2 days. So yeah, let's see what we get done tomorrow, and I'll catch up with you then. Okay, so nearly at the end of day 3, but I'll just show you what we're doing at the minute. I'm plasterboarding everything, and what we've got is, obviously the wall's broken out in places anyway, but I found the joists in the wall, because this is a timber frame construction, and I've marked down here where each of the studs are in the wall, and then I've marked them on the ceiling as well, and I'll be able to put my laser level down and then see where all of my screws need to go so I can find the studs. So that's how we're doing that. I've got the cutout for the niche. I've left that board off the bottom because I need to get in there to do the connecting on the pipe work. Bordered around the door, board along here, so that pipe's all gone like that. So yeah, we're getting there. No, I'm not a plasterer. We're going to plaster this ceiling, so let's see how much of a mess we can make. Okay, so we've done the first coat, and then that was what you saw on the time lapse. And then I did the second coat, but I didn't record it. But it's been on for a few hours now. So, and I also just used up some excess and did that wall. I wasn't gonna skim it because it's just being boarded over with the shower panels. So let's have a look at what we've done. So I've not done any plastering for about 2 years. So that, I'm going to say, is not too bad. And now I'm going to do these walls, do those 3 so they can be drying overnight. And then tomorrow, once that's all gone off a bit, we'll drill the holes for the spotlights in the ceiling. I have already drilled them on the other plasterboard, so I can drill down from in the loft and then drill back up so I don't make a mess of the plaster. So we'll put the lights in and yeah, basically just start putting the bits and pieces in for the bathroom, do some plumbing and get it a bit closer to being done. So it's going to have been a good day. I'll catch up with you in a bit once plastered all the walls. Probably do another time lapse of me plastering the walls, and we'll see how we go. Filmed for a few days. We've got everything plastered. We've got the lights back in the ceiling. Lights back in the ceiling. We've got the lights in the ceiling. These are new lights. And we've also done all the plumbing underneath. We've got the plumbing in to where we need it, hot and cold feed and stuff. So we're just doing the waste fittings. So I've come to do the waste fitting for the shower and found that the waste trap is basically sitting dead above one of the joists. So what we've done is we've cut out the joist, and under the floor we've got wall here and also a wall there. So we've got some more timber, and we're going to run this piece of timber across so it stretches between the walls, so it's resting on each wall. And then I'm also going to bolt through and then that'll be fine. We've got the same size piece of timber so that it would rest on the walls. And yeah, so that will make it so that the waste trap, because it sits just here, which is a little bit annoying, but hey ho, it is what it is. So yeah, everything is getting there. Slowly we're getting there. So we'll get this done, we'll get the waste plumbing sorted out, and then we can start looking at getting the extract fan in, and then it will be moving on to getting the tray in properly, getting the panels in. So let's get this last bit of building works done and then get the floor back down and we should be good. So bolts through there, I'll tighten them up and I'm going to do the same under there. So this tray is actually out of a bathroom that I've previously done. So it's a second-hand tray, and some of the other fittings are second-hand as well. So yeah, we've got new shower panels. But yeah, so we are getting there. I've got to drill the hole here. Toilet's going to go there, and then we're going to have a grab handle on the wall here. So there's going to be some grab handles along here. Niche obviously in there. Yeah, it's starting to come together, starting to look like a bathroom again. So I've put the spotlights in, we've put the extract fan in, got the niche in and marked up for the shower. Obviously the tray's in. We have done all the plumbing. That was an absolute nightmare. So all of them panels are in there, and then we've got this panel just here which is going at the back of the sink, so that'll look quite nice. We've got a big black rimmed mirror to go on there. Towel rail is going here. But yeah, one more day I reckon. Okay, first job this morning, I'm going to connect in this shower. So luckily, shower that was in before was all connected into the fuse box and everything, so that's all good. So I'm just going to run the cable down to the new switch that I'm going to put in this room here. So this is the new cable that's coming to the shower. This is the pipe work that's coming to the shower. It's all just fitted through loose just to make sure it all fits. It'll be siliconed up before the shower's actually put in permanently, just in case any water does get down the back of the shower. So, one shower, and that's going to go onto the little screw. Get that in there. Lined up. There we go. That's all good. So now that that's in there, I can tighten that onto there. I wanted to know how much cable I was actually going to need, so I can shove that back. I'll put that back into the other room. Dead convenient, that's the area covered. So, and the good thing with that is that not only does it mean we can put all of those connections in there, there's also a rising pipe to the tank in the loft, the cold water tank, so we can come straight off of that, which runs straight. That's the main feed. So that'll do us, and then we can, that connection's going to basically be like that then. Connect into there. We'll connect that into there. Make sure that's ready to come. Get my laser level. Into there, easier than holding a manual level, and then we can just push that across till it looks right. We need to mark where our other screw hole's going to be. In there. Pretty good. So now we'll take it back off again, drill the hole for the other screw, get that all sorted out, and then we'll connect it all up. So as you'll have seen either earlier on in this video or in the video before, I'm not sure if I'm going to release it in two parts yet, these walls are just like egg box material, they're absolutely pants. So I've got some of these, this is what we're going to be using. Now if you've ever used any of these before, you can't take the screw back out, which is a pain. So we'll drill the hole for that to go through, and then we'll put this through the shower and then tighten this up, slot it all on together, which can be a bit of a nightmare because if you unscrew that, then this bit is just going to drop down in the wall. Okay, so ready to put this in. Drilled the hole, absolutely massive for that fixing. But I know it is what it is. That's the size that they specified, by the way. That's the size they said that it needs to be. So we're going to silicon this, and then I can silicon this one after, which is a bonus. So I'll put some of this in here. We'll get a wipe. Let's see if we can get this to go in. So we've fitted that through there, and then I've got to put that on the bottom as well. Need about 14 hands for doing this. So that's popped in there now, that's gone back past, which is good. And then, just get this lined up with us long. Do that. There. That's good. Pull that up against that. That is in. So now what we'll do, we'll connect that up, get that tightened up onto there, and get that wired in, and then wire everything in on the back. Yeah, okay. Connect all the electrics. Well, that's one of these I did. Was with 10mm cable. That was a very powerful shower. This is only 6mm. Makes it a little bit easier to work with. How we connect the shower. So now, like I say, it's not connected up on the back, so I'll show you in the airing cupboard. So what we've got is, we've got the pipe coming through here, and we've got the cable coming through there. And what I'll do, I'll just put some like no-nail sort of thing around there, just to hold it tight in that hole. Probably end up doing the same in there, but basically this is the rising cold feed to the cold tank in the loft. So this is the hot tank in here, and then there's the cold tank in the loft. So there must have been something connected there before, which is absolutely ideal. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come off of here and come upwards, and then I'm going to come off of there and come upwards, and then I'm going to put a flexi pipe over the top, and jobs are good 'un. So, and then the switch for this is going to go in here, and then the cable that is currently into the consumer unit will come over and come down and into that box as well. So really easy setup here, because we can get to all this afterwards. So it's absolutely ideal. Okay, so we've got the towel rail in, and that's all wired in now. I'd already put the cable down the wall before I plastered, and I just needed to cut out the box for that. So that's wired in. That's nice and, well, starting to get nice and warm. Grab rails are in, and also the grab rail just here for the toilet. And now I'm just in the process of putting in the glass support against the wall. So let's see how we get on with that. So this comes little U-channel, and you drill your own screw holes. So I've got the top one. I've already checked it for plumb, and then it isn't far off from where I want to have it. So we'll get some silicone on the back of here, and it will squash out when we tighten it up, but it will just make sure that it's nice and sealed when the shower's on. Always better to get a bead of sealant behind something you're going to fix on, and then create that seal when you screwing it up. Little screws. So that's going to go right up against the edge. Get silicone over here. And hopefully there's going to be something to get on with it. Drill in with a bigger bit, and to allow the head of the screw to just sit in so the glass isn't resting on it. Just don't go all the way through there. bathroom, the shower, the tray and the screen came out of another bathroom that I've done. What I normally do when I do a bathroom is I'll order the glass to fit so that it goes right up as close as we can to the ceiling. But obviously this is a standard height for this panel, so it's slightly shorter than what I would normally do. Makes it more handleable. So I'm not complaining because they weigh some when they're massive. The guys who would get the glasses on very, very helpful though. So we had 4 of us bringing up the last piece of glass up the stairs to the other job we did, one of the other jobs we did. So this one is a lot more handleable, more user-friendly. Oh, that's it. So put that in. I've got no intention to put the glass in just yet. But what I needed to know was I need the centre for the riser bar. So I was pretty sure it was going to end up what it is at 740mm. So then we just half it and we stick it in the middle. So I knew that the shower needed to be over here. Didn't want that too close to the wall. But yeah, we want the riser bar nice and central. So now we can get the riser bar fitted. Okay. Switch light off. Makes it easier to see my line. And then what we've got is these are handed, because there's a slot in there and there's a notch in one of those, so just to stop it from spinning, so that will fit nice and tight in there once I've, yeah, so put it in there. So now we just need to put that at a reasonable height, which is there. So we'll probably keep it in line with the top of that realistically. That will look nice. So we'll put the level across there. There's probably specifications in the instructions for how high you should have it, but as long as it's tall enough for the tallest person who's going to be using it, and out there, probably go up a bit more, and we'll go somewhere around about there, and then the bottom one's the same. We'll just make sure that we get that on the line, and we're all good. So we'll do the hole there, and then fix that one on, and then I can put the bottom one on and mark it. But obviously this wall is like the rest of them, is egg box, so we're going to have to put some different sort of fixings in, unfortunately. Okay, so the riser bar is all fitted, but I just wanted to point out these electric showers, although it might be different depending on the brand, they need commissioning, and there's a certain way to do that. Normally it requires putting it on the hottest setting and then putting the power on cold or something like that anyway. And so what we've got is the dial here that you turn all the way around to hot, and then you put this onto the cold setting. But if you don't do that, then I made this mistake on the first electric shower I ever fitted. I didn't do the commissioning process properly, and what it does is in behind here, this, or there will be something else like that, there's a little like rubber disc, and what happens is it'll blow that disc out because it's a pressure relief valve, so that there doesn't end up being too much pressure within the shower. So if that happens, I just bought a little set off of I think it was off Amazon, and it wasn't mega expensive. It literally came with a few of these little round discs, and you just take that off and put the little disc in there and then put it back on. So there's nothing then wrong with the shower, it just literally, it is that little disc. I was panicking at that point, it was a few years ago now, I was panicking at that point. I was like, oh God, have I ruined the shower or whatever? But that was my own stupid fault for not reading the instructions. Okay, so here we go. This is as finished as it's going to be now. Everything's in, everything's sealed up, it's all plumbed in and everything. It's all good to go and be used. I've got to go back home so that I can go to work. I've got a few other jobs on, so you might see a bit of that in another video. But basically what's still left to do, I've got to come down and PVA all the walls, and then I've got to whitewash it all and paint it in its final colour. So that'll be probably next year now. But yeah, she's got a usable bathroom and it's all looking very smart. So I'll spin you around and then you'll be able to see what it looks like. So we've got stop valves on all of the toilet and on the sink. Waste pipe obviously going straight out the floor, which is loads better than it was. And we've put connector box down the bottom there. This radiator is all touch screen on that little dial down there. And then we've got grab handles, extractor fan in the ceiling. That actually extractor fan there goes across and links into the old stench pipe which is going out of the roof, so that lets the steam out of there. And then we've got the niche just there, and then we've got the electric shower which looks great in black. So time to get packed up and head off home. So I've got to load the trailer up and then we'll be on his way back. Hopefully get back before sometime ridiculous. Hopefully before midnight, but we'll see. Right then guys, so just got back about half an hour ago. It's just after 10 o'clock now. We had a pretty good journey back, to be fair, so just editing this video, or a few bits of this video, and realised I've not really said anything as an outro to the video. So I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching if you have watched this far. Leave a like, click subscribe, it's free, and there'll be a lot more videos coming your way. So yeah, thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.